Hey, good morning, and how are you guys doing today? I hope freaking amazing. So we're back. It's 5 a.m. and we're going to be knocking out some more writing. I think we're finishing up chapter 20 after realizing there's some major things to fix in the back writing and the revisions and stuff like that. And so hold on one second. I'll get chat up so we can see so I can see exactly what everybody's saying. Um, Still kind of pseudo waking up, and so coherency is not at the peak of well, I'm not peak coherent yet, but I will be. I've got coffee here, that always helps, right? Okay, so here's the deal. We've got Sam, our hero, who is infected with a modified version of the elves virus that basically created zombies. The modified version, though, it was created by the Dr. Amelia. She obviously was infected, in which she injected him with her blood, which was teeming with nanites and the disease. Um, in our last writing, Sam actually stalked two of the crew members back from the mess hall, basically, or the galley on the ship, and he has killed one of them, ripped him to pieces, and consumed some of the organs, right? Um, that's all good. I think that we're good on that. Now I got to figure out where we're going from there. Honestly, hey, good morning. How you doing? You know, uh, I don't know. Yeah, to a point, probably that is probably part of it. It's not usually the younger people that get up at this time in the mornings, but I was trying to find a reason where it wasn't that. But touche. You're probably right. I hope you're having a great day, by the way, Ronus. In fact, I was up a little like a little later than I should have been because I went to a charity type auction slash Christmas dinner, and so now I'm just trying to compose myself at this point. I'm gonna just be honest, guys. Was super good though, except I ended up bidding on two different cake. Well, I bid on a bunch of cakes, but I got two cakes. So now I have two cakes. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. I'll be eating cake, I guess, for a little bit, and offering cake to everybody that stopped by. But I did win two cakes, by the way. I have coffee here. I haven't got it in me yet. But you're right, coffee, and I will be good to go. Okay, so here's the plan. I think I've pretty much got it. Throat slicing. Oh, okay, ripped into his throat, silencing him. Okay, da-da-da. Okay. Okay, so this time I'm gonna have him forget to dim the lights. No, it's overloaded. Overrode. No. Is overrode two different words? Oh. Why am I trying to make road spelt wrong? Okay. Feel something's wrong here, but I'm not awake all the way, so we'll just leave it like that. Luckily, in revisions, I'm going to fix all this stuff, and we're going to revise like 5 times. So, revision number 5, this book will make more sense, I'm sure. It's a good thing about revisions, right? You just get to keep on rechanging things and rechanging things until it actually is the book you want, right? So, less pressure to get it perfect on the first, hey, let's get through this. Let's see what the heck. Hmm. Trying to think of what it would be called. I think that's going to be good. Let's go back and see what we have. So I found myself moving to the door of the quarters of one of the crew members, and almost as if it was instinct. Wait, almost like in it was instinct. I think we can just almost like instinct. There. Boom. Almost like instinct connected to the ship's systems, lowering all the lights in the corridor and the room on the other side of the door. Okay, so we're specific in there. Then I sat there listening. I could hear the man coming towards the door, likely to see if the lights. Wait, likely to see if the lighting was having issues outside of his quarters. I'm not really loving that, but that makes sense at least, so I'll be able to fix that in revision if I don't like it even a lot more. Hey, good morning, Avalonis. I hope you're having a great day too. The dimming seemed not to affect my ability to see. Oh. Seemed not to affect my ability to see at all. Okay, I like this better. The darkness of the room seemed not to affect my ability to see at all. When his door. Wait. So. Okay, so let's get rid of the room. And let's put it as, see, this is what we'll catch in revision. Hey, good morning, Fire Debugger. I hope you guys are having a great day, by the way. Oh, Rona's already defined that we're probably all up this early because we're old. I like to, in my mind, pretend that that's not true, but he might have me checkmated on that. I mean, like, I don't know everybody's age exactly in this at 5 a.m. Some, you don't know, Fire Debug, you get up this early just to go working out. Fire Debug's a health person that likes to get stuff done. So he's not old. And actually, I've seen Avalonus' stream. He's not that old either. But me and Ronis, boom, I don't know what we could say. Okay, when his door opened, I was ready. I like that. And without thought, I pounced. You know what? Do I need to write without thought? Yeah, no. Let's leave that in there for now. The man was big and looked to be in good shape, but he seemed easy to control. I found myself letting him try to put up a fight, as if I was playing some game. Okay. When I realized he had lost hope and went to scream out, I ripped out his throat, silencing him. That sounds good. We're good there. So obviously we're turning our guy into a bad guy for a second. I mean, he's not a bad guy, but he's overwhelmed with this, stuff. I feel you on that. If you're not feeling well though, sleeping in is super healthy for you guys. I had lost myself in the moment, and in a frenzy, I found myself tearing him to pieces and consuming some of his organs. I, I think that instead of consuming, I think I'm going to change this, guys. Tearing him into pieces. I think I'm going to do that. I found myself tearing him to pieces, feasting upon his organs. That flows better. Hey, good morning, it sucks. How are you doing today? I hope you guys are all having a great day. By the way, that fundraiser thing I went to last night, I bought two different desserts. I actually bid on them. It was like an auction. I won two. I bid on more than that. I bid on several. In fact, I probably was pumping up the bids a little bit. I would bid up to a certain amount I don't want to get into. But I did buy. It benefited some kind of children's group. So then I was like, oh, I'm bidding. I'll show you guys. I'm that naughty. So this is what I bought, or bid on. I won these two cakes, which is kind of naughty. Here, I'll show you. I know this has nothing to do with writing. This stuff benefited a children's charity group, though, and so I felt like it was a good choice. I already ate part of one. Now I have to eat. I'm gonna be eating cake for a second, guys. I'm gonna just be honest. That probably wasn't a health choice, but it was good. Yeah. Yeah, they had a bunch of cakes, but The bidding got extreme. I'm gonna let you know. The bidding went like I did not pay this amount, so you guys, I don't want to, but some of the items got bid very much over 100 and something dollars, and I don't want to get into exactly how much, but like let's just say like the bidding was aggressive. As soon as it was for a children's charity, it seems like people will buy some desserts at a super high price. And there was a couple people that were just aggressive against each other, like their buddy was bidding on it, so they were going to outbid their buddy. Um, I still bid pretty good, but I was pretty happy with it. I'm going to be eating cake. Some children's charity group gets to have some money, so that's like a win-win, right? It was fun. Plus, I got dinner, so it's not like a combination. It was good. And I got to visit with some great people. Okay, so let's get back to this and focus. I get distracted. It's like, honestly. Okay, I was consumed by bloodlust, though, and found myself quickly at the other man's door. I overrode and opened the door, this time forgetting to dim the lights within his quarters. I think I don't think we need the word beforehand, because we're not going to dim them. The look of horror on his face caught me off guard for a brief second, giving him enough time to get his pistol, to get to his laser pistol, laying on the dresser next to his bed. I don't know if that sounds right, but I moved quickly, lunging towards him, but he managed to get off 3 shots, 2 of them hitting me directly. Oh, I ate some of the one cake. It has some kind of, I don't know. Basically, it's banana bread, banana peanut butter bread. It's actually a good combo with some kind of frosting drizzled over the top, which is also yummy. But I'm gonna let you know, I've never made a banana peanut butter bread before in my life, but it's a good choice, guys. Hey, Need a Freak, good morning. I hope you're having a great one. Isn't it Scream Out? Why am I confused on how to spell scream? Is scream a word or is it was able to scream out? Is scream? Oh no, it's just scream. Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay. Okay, so he's gonna regenerate, you guys. At this point, we all know he's the nanites and the combination of the disease is gonna just fix him anyway. So we've got him where he's basically not gonna die unless we do something extreme to him, which is gonna be much more handy in the future when we do all kinds of stupid stuff with this guy. In which, if he was a normal person, we'd have him dead. Okay, so we've got this done. This guy's gonna turn into a zombie. Boom, boom. That's not a whatever disease. Coursed. Oh, that's making more sense now. Okay, so we're good. I knew soon I would be back up. But now more people had arrived, including my friends who were trying to grasp the situation. I think that's good. I'm pretty happy with that. So now all we have to do is have that other dude getting sick. Convulsions is a word I don't use a lot. That can't be right. Okay, convulsions is probably no. I just don't use the word convulsions, so we'll have to look it up. Convulsions? Mm. Oh, I'm missing some stuff in here, guys. A U and an L? Is that really it? That's an S. Okay. That is not how I was going to spell that at all. Well, obviously, you guys saw how I spelled it, so. But yeah, good to know. Convulsions. That's the right spelling. Okay. Think we're doing good now. And Doubleday. Glad that caught that. As they stood there arguing, the man I had bit fell to the ground, going into violent convulsions. So I'm not really sure if I want to say still alive. Do we say? Mm, okay, fill that. That's probably good. Okay, that's good. I feel that they would say stuff. Ah, what kind of dialogue do you have at a time like this? That's a question, right? Okay, so we killed Blake. No, we Blake's still alive. Blake. I'm gonna be honest. This section's probably gonna need some serious touchy later on. don't know if I want to extend it to where he can feel what the other people are feeling and stuff, because then all of a sudden we end up in some kind of situation where, like, you know what I mean? If you overpower something too fast, all of a sudden you're dealing with all kinds of crap, right? Yeah. I'm in revision. If I decide to enhance it at all, I'll do it then. Honestly, I worry that if I give him too much stuff, we end up in one of those situations where, like, it's like the werewolf in which you give him a super good amount of senses and stuff like that, but later on you're really honestly there's no logic for why somebody would be able to sneak up on him or a ton of other stuff because they have all these super senses. Um, I feel if all of a sudden we're making it where if he bites somebody and then he can just see or hear or know what they know or be aware through them, all of a sudden later on, we have a potential of some kind of issue where I'm like caught, like basically painting myself into a corner. You know what I'm saying? That's my concern with that. It's my only concern with that too, honestly, is that we paint ourselves in some kind of corner by overly powering him in some capacity in which psh, I don't think we made up a name for this disease, did we? Let me look at this. Let's find this elf stuff. Blah, blah. The elves made this disease. I think it's in Amelia's section anyway. We did make up a name for this disease, right? If not, we're about to, because we're going to need something to reference it. We didn't name it there for sure. Did we name it in the Amelia zone? Yeah, Zarkrin's virus. Okay, good to know. Just making sure. Okay. Subdue. Boom. Okay, let's look at how to spell convulsions again. Boom. Okay, so honestly, I probably should write a bunch of dialogue here. I'm not really sure what kind of dialogue to throw here. Oh, what the crap was I thinking there? Boom. Okay, so let's go back through this, make sure I'm gonna probably write insert dialogue. I'm gonna just be honest. So boom, we've got that part. I've already read through it. We've already read through that. Okay. I laid there as the men seemed to talk about what could have happened. Soon they realized the trail of blood leading to the other crew members' room. I could hear the sound of horror as they found the brutal mess I made of the man. Brutal mess. I almost think there needs to be a comma there, but I'm not really sure all the way. Probably does. I could feel the nanites working to repair me, aided by the disease that now coursed through my body, slowly, boom, that does need one, slowly repairing me. I knew soon I would be back up, but now more people had arrived, including my friends who were trying hard to grasp the situation. As they stood there arguing, the man I had bit, do we want bit or bitten, fell to the ground, going into violent convulsions. Some of the crew members were trying to check on him, but I could feel the disease. It linked me to him. So we did state that there, though, guys. Hmm. They do. That could be a way to say it too. Honestly, that's probably a good idea, actually. Some of the crew were trying to check on him, but I could feel the disease linking me to him. Finally, my friends checked my body. They managed to determine I was still conscious, though unable to move from the damage to my spine. Orion said we need to get them to the medical bay and figure out what happened. Then Brandon and Blake grabbed my legs and arms, carrying me out of the room. As the crew members were still trying to figure out what was wrong with the man. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I could probably switch how I said that, make it a little better, but as they got me to the medical bay, comma, they placed me on the table, strapping me down, which was probably the right choice on their part, as I had regained movement in my hands. Then there was a scream from the hallway. It was the man I had bit. Pretty sure I should be writing bitten. Bit. No, bit sounds better there actually. I knew he had regained consciousness, and now he was attacking the men who were carrying him to the medical bay. Hold on, let me go back through this. Did I have an attack up here instead of attacked? Probably. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that's true. You're right. I just honestly got confused there. But yes, when recapping, it should be attacked. Oh, you're right. Okay. Oh, I get what you're saying. Let me find this because that's already been covered. Okay. Boom, boom. Okay. I get you. Thank you. That's a super, super good point. That I don't actually have to recap that it was bitten. I could just write attacked. Excellent point, man. Excellent point. That's a lifesaver. Honestly, yeah, good. Fire debug. When you going to be writing your book? I feel you would be a good writer. I actually feel that anybody can write a book at this point. But besides that, I think some of you guys would write a dang good book. Like, especially since you have like unlimited revisions. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you're on day one? One day. Oh, one day. So I flipped that somehow in my mind to day one. I'm like, oh, today. Holy crap. One day, I think you should. When you do, let me know and I'll buy your book when it's published. For reals. Okay. I listened as the crew members and my friends talked. It seemed they knew it was blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm going to switch in and I'm going to take that. Searching desperately for any explanation. Hmm. A start of a book can be any day. Honestly, the start of a book is when you just have some story floating around in your brain that you just keep rehashing and rehashing. The second it's written, like a bit of it, you're beyond just starting the book. You know what I mean? But most people have, I believe, the start of a book in their head. Like they've watched a movie or they've read a book and they have an idea of how it would have been better. And they have this story in their head and they float it around and float it around and they float it around and they just never puke it out onto a piece of paper. But honestly, once there's a story in your brain that keeps floating around and floating around and floating around, you've already started a book. You haven't just committed to the work of writing it down so other people can know about it. Like, and so I think most people, just for the record, have already started a book. They just haven't started writing it down. That's basically, I mean, that's just an opinion. I don't actually know that. But I know that tons of ideas or thoughts of like stories that have been floated through my mind, most of them I just never took the time to start writing it down to where it could format into some kind of actual something, you know. But yeah, I think most people actually already have a book pretty much in their brain. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. Basically, random opinion for the day. Okay, so let's figure out how we're getting past this. I feel. Oh. These other men have to turn into zombies, though, guys. So we've got that knocked out. So now we've got it where. Oh, and they've already. This has already happened. They've already locked up Sam. Mindlessness. That's probably. What was I misspelling in there? Who knows? I thought that's how I wrote it, but okay, what else do we need? Is that the correct rabbit though? I think it is. Okay, so we give him the slight ability, but not enough to actually control them yet. Later on, he's going to have control over the people he bites, just so you know. Just heads up on you guys. So basically, we're Zombie Master in our Technomancer Technopath character. Yeah. That'll be handy later on, don't worry. I got a plan for it. Okay. Hey, good morning, Zuck. How you doing? where do we go here? I want them to talk to him, and he's able to talk. Oh, okay, a mill. Okay, I think that that's good right there. Oh, and boom. I'm really not sure if I want to call them zombies, but let's call them zombies for right now, right? I feel that that's reasonable. Later on, if I decide I don't like it, hold on, let me see. How would you drag it out? User field. That's a great point. That might be a good idea, honestly. What's your thoughts on dragging it out? I think he has a good point there, by the way, you guys, just for the record. You could drag it out after yelling. Do you mean drag out the information or drag out the telling of it? Which way do you mean? Because both of them are making sense in my head right now, just for the record. I like your thinking though. Thinking about the reader. That's how you're supposed to approach it, Tobe. Yeah, so you're awesome. Man, you guys are freaking epic. I'm gonna tell you, this is gonna be a super good book after revision number 5. But without doing this live and having so much input from all of you, I honestly don't think it. I mean, it still would have been okay, but it's gonna be that much better because of you guys. I'm gonna just tell you. So let's read back through this and figure out how to change this. I listened to the crew and my friends discussing ideas. Okay. This is ideals. Ideas. Boom. Ideas of what could have happened for several minutes as I healed. Finally, I'm waiting. I'll give you time to respond. I don't want to pressure you guys too much. Finally, boom, we can get rid of that. Thank gosh. Finally, I regained some of my composure, yelling out, "It's Zaccharin's virus." That's a it's a good name for a virus. Let's get rid of Emilia infected me with it because we already know that. But let's actually lay that out later. Sandoval and Orion seemed shocked that I had spoke. Okay, that I spoke. If it's Zaccharin's virus, how are you able to speak? Oh, you know what? You know what? That so. Oh no, I get you. I'm gonna add most of the emotional stuff and stuff like that in revision. I'm gonna just be honest. So a lot more details are going to be added into revision. A lot of things are actually going to be changed away. I realized I didn't like how I had laid out some of the stuff at all. I have a notebook right here that tells me changes that we're making during revision. Uh, but most of the extra emotional detail and some of the scene setting details are going to be added in revision. But I do agree. Let's add in some right here. I'll do that because that's pretty short anyway. Let's think of what he would be feeling. Okay, so he just wiped out some people. You're probably good at writing. You're just trying to do it perfect on the first run, and you're not okay with just. And I'm not trying to be mean, but if you were like able to just like throw out stuff and you can see where you don't like your writing, you're able to fix it. And if you're able to say, I don't like my writing, you're actually probably good at writing. You know what I'm saying? And I know that sounds probably crazy, but reality wise, if you're like, oh, I wrote some stuff and I didn't like it, then you know what was wrong with it. If you just took 5 or 6 revisions on it until it looked like you wanted it, you're probably good. Just gonna say, like your rough draft, from what I've listened to tons of writers' lectures and stuff, is always an absolute train wreck in which most people would never want somebody to see their rough draft. I just don't care that much. I mean, like I'm okay with everybody seeing the process and realizing, holy crap, that was a train wreck going in. The end result, though, guys, is going to be freaking epic because I'm going to take 5 runs at it. You know what I'm saying? And so by the 5th run, I'll have got a lot of changes, a lot of changes. And so honestly, by run number 5, this will be similar to the story we just wrote, but it won't be exact. Like it won't even be close. Just going to be honest. I think I'd put a comma here. Okay. I yelled out, it's Zakrin's virus. Or Zarkrin's virus. Yeah, I think that's how I'd say it. As I struggled to deal with the situation I now found myself in. See, that is good. I like it. Oh, I agree. I think you had a good point. 100%. You have a valid point. I think you dismissing your own writing ability is a bad choice, honestly. Because your ability to place yourself in the mind and the perspective of the reader and stuff like that is pretty impressive. I would say that that was a valid change, and I think that you should probably just write something that's bad, and then just go back through it a bunch. Like it doesn't even have to be perfect by revision number 8. There's no timeline on how fast you have to write something, right? And so you could throw out something, it could be totally horrible and not even big enough. And you could be like, well, I need to make it bigger and I need to fix these things. And then go through and fix those things and make it bigger. Then figure out what you don't like about that. Then go back through and do that. And you can do that as many times as you want until it's the story you actually want. I think that that's what most people. It seems like almost everybody that's talked is like, oh, don't be afraid. You're not going to write bad. You're going to write imperfectly, and then you're going to revise it multiple times. You shouldn't be afraid to write badly. In fact, you should embrace that because it's like the first time you walked as a child, you did it badly. It's only because you kept walking again and again that it eventually gets good, right? Nobody's going to be like, honestly, I really feel that you're robbing yourself if you don't, because it seems like you're the kind of person that wants to write, that just is too critical of themselves and doesn't want to do something badly, and so therefore will choose not to do it. In fact, don't do that. Choose to do it even though you will do it badly, and then just do it until you're better at it. That literally, I 100% think all you guys are freaking too epic to not share yourselves the way that you could be. Like, I think everybody's greatness waiting to just be great. You know what I'm saying? like legitimately. Um, you know what? I'm gonna grab you a link real quick, and it's gonna help you. I'm gonna grab you several links, okay? Because I know that most people. So I don't know if you know who Brandon Sanderson is, but he's this sci-fi writer. He's an epic sci-fi writer. Here, let me grab you this. Boom. Sharing that link with you. I'm going to show you what he has right here. Hold on one second. I'm going to go to this. This is Brandon Sanderson's thing. You're going to want to find this playlist right here. This is his creative writing. He's famous as crap as a writer. This is his actual writing class on good thing I had that muted. Okay, so see this whole creative writing class, the whole lecture series is right here. 13 lectures. It is legitimately Brandon Sanderson's entire breakdown on how to write. Okay? The next thing I'm going to help you with is this is Quinns Ideas. It's absolutely a great resource also. Boom. I'll show you what Quinns Ideas is real quick. We'll kick this down. Quinns Ideas, alternate horror film writing, blah, blah, blah. He has tons of different type, um, well, basically discussions on books, ideas, stuff like that. It's a super good resource and stuff like that. The one I will tell you is also an amazing resource is this Tale Foundry. Okay? And the Tale Foundry actually discusses specific plots. Oh, I forgot to click Quinns Ideas in there. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about on the Tale Foundry real quick because I feel that this is one of the ones. The Brandon Sanders lectures are super important. They're super handy. Now I'm going to show you why Tale Foundry is super freaking amazing. Hey Def M, I hope you're having a great day. It discusses specific topics that you might come into. So, literally from paradox time travel to like just crazy stuff. Egotistical heroes, how to kill a god, like, and this is discussions on writing. This was a great discussion on anti-villains and anti-heroes. He has multiple ones on magic systems and stuff like that. Basically, this whole thing is a just mind-blowing resource for writers. I mean, like, legitimately, one of the ones that I thought was, honestly, some of these are crazy as crap. Like, this xenofiction one, I'm not writing xenofiction, but I thought it was fascinating. The one that I thought was super handy, though, because we're about to deal with horrors and stuff like that in this book, um, and the next one and stuff like that, was this one on how to write the impossible. So this is all kinds of, like, this resource is absolutely good. You can find, like, if you get stuck on a point, by the way, the story you should be writing. Do you guys know the Princess Bride story is not the Princess Bride? The original Princess Bride actually isn't that good. The guy literally rewrote it. Like, no crap. If you listen to, yeah, I'll copy paste this one. I'll grab this. If you grab this and listen to it, you'll realize that the Princess Bride story that everybody knows and thinks is so good and is so famous is actually not the story. It's a different story, just for the record. A dude rewrote the Princess Bride that we all know and love. Crazy, huh? And in all honesty, if you listen to that video, you'll understand why. That video is about taking a story that's not that good and how it can be made better sometimes by just removing what doesn't need to be there. Like sometimes it's not about adding to a story, sometimes it's about distilling it down to what would be a better story. And so you can actually overwrite a story and knowing, well, that video is fascinating. It's actually a good history. It lets you know about, hey, like the original Princess Bride story is not the one we all know at all. If you guys know what I'm talking about, the Princess Bride is a hallmark of what most people would consider a super good story, like one that you'd be proud if you would have written it. The reality is, it's actually not the actual story. It's a guy's mod. A guy changed the story, just so you guys know. Like totally not the original story at all. And the actual history and the actual story about how that happened is pretty good. Like it's not. It's something that's worth listening to, honestly. It changed the way I thought about it, where I realized that like, nah, you always have the ability to keep changing the story until you hit publish. And you're not in any hurry to publish a book until it's where you want it to be anyway, right? And so, I hope that helps everybody. I really feel that you guys are all super epicness. You know what I mean? And so, anything I can do to help that epicness shine out, I'm totally down for. It's not like your success is going to affect my success. You know what I'm saying? In fact, it might compound it. Like, I could be more successful because you're successful. Who knows? But for sure, there's no way you guys succeeding randomly or even purposefully is going to diminish anything I do. Like, it's not going to be like, oh, one of these guys wrote a book and it's doing super well. And so somehow that what? I mean, like, there's no downside to you guys doing amazing. Okay, let me refocus because we all know how distracted I get. I just like stuff so much. I'm gonna just be honest. Okay, and I just changed this guy's name. His is Orion Orel. I liked Orel. Maybe when we revise it, it might turn into Orel. Okay, Sandoval. Yeah, in Orion seems shocked that I spoke. Okay, if it's Zarkin's virus, how were you able to speak, and where would have you gotten it from? Okay, boom. Whoa. I don't know why I was trying to change virus. Okay, now I'm going to go back to. Hold on one sec. I'm scrolling to see something specifically. I'm using your thing right here. Fire debug. I'm going to say think right now, but that's probably going to change on revision. I did like that exchange glances comment, though, you made earlier. And I decided that we definitely need an exchange glances. Okay, let's think of how we get further. We need to do some other things. Okay, we've got Sam locked up with the other two dudes. Okay, we've got that part done. I feel that this is going to skip to a different chapter. Yeah, I feel that that's going to skip to a different chapter. I'm going to end up with... Oh, back that. I'm going to end up with another chapter in here, guys, just to be honest. Boom. Okay, so this is going to be where we're going to grab Sam and boot him. Yeah, this makes sense. So they're going to realize Sam's getting stronger. The ship's crew's going to want Sam dead, right? Um, okay, so now I feel we've got this organized. So book two, we're gonna be starting off awesome, honestly. Let's figure this out now. So we're just gonna close this out by leaving a guard posted. Was that the UR? Boom, boom. Glad that fixed that. Okay. So I feel we've got a good little thing going on there. Now, all we have to do okay, Phil, that's good. Okay. Okay. I think that's good. That seems, I mean, in revision it'll be much better. Let's hop down to this next chapter. Okay, so we're gonna make it where they know he's getting stronger. And the crew members are gonna decide that they're gonna kill him. So his friends are gonna take and put him in an escape pod and get him off the frickin' ship beforehand. Okay. Probably change that later. Dreadful's kinda, yeah. This would be a possessive. Okay. We've got that out of the way. Now all we have to do is have Brandon come back because the people have decided what to do and they're going to kill Sam. Okay, this should be easy right here. Now I think we're flowing. This ancient horror part we'll probably figure out in a different. Let me look over this. Now we'll figure out in this chapter. Maybe not. I don't know. Let's get this part written. I guess that is right. Panicked, panicked. Yep. Okay. Okay, I'll agree with it. That's actually reasonable. Then Brandon came in, panicked, and flipped on the stinging lights. Okay, explanation point. Okay, I think that is jumbled in a jumbled mess. Okay, I laid there relaxed finally, even able to calm the other two infected men. Then Brandon came in, panicked, and flipped on the stinging lights. Wake up, what are you doing? They plan to kill Sam and the other two, he said in a jumbled mess. Okay, I'm happy with that. That's a period right there. And that's going to tell me taken. I knew it. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is where Brandon's going to kick in. Dun, dun, dun. I don't really like that the best. I'm gonna be honest. That's probably gonna this conversation right through here in this chapter is probably gonna get chopped the crap out of in revision. But the idea is basically that anyway. You know what I mean? Okay. Not really sure what to say here. So, okay, I think we're good there. Okay. It's almost 7, so I'm gonna have to stop in a second. But I was trying to get him to the escape pod. let's figure out how we're doing this. I feel in case is supposed to be one word, but I'll fix that if it's wrong later on, I guess. I don't know why that's bugging the crap out of me right there. I don't think we need to say that like that. Okay, boom, boom. Think we're good there. Okay, it's 7:02. I'm gonna write that he pulled the thing on Wednesday. We'll be back and we'll finish this whole section, the rest of the chapter, which will be him landing on the planet. That's obviously going to be a bad situation. He's obviously also going to be taken prisoner, in which then in this chapter he's going to join the space Vikings, who are also prisoners, who are going to be sacrificed. Lucky for him, he's in the situation that he's in. Honestly, we're probably going to end up with a couple more chapters. So it's going to be probably a 25 chapter book, is it? I mean, plus the other chapters that I have to write in revision to fix some of the stuff that we've discovered that we don't like. And then, well, let's just be honest. There's a lot of work left, even though we're closing in on like the final 4 to 5 chapters of the situation. And so pull the thing. Boom. That's the wrong theirs anyway. Okay. I think we're good right there. So we've just got that done. So all we have to do is float in space for a second, land on the planet. We'll get a scene setting on the planet right there. And then, of course, within just no time at all, he's going to get grabbed up. And yeah, this is its own thing. We'll deal with that later on. I feel we're good though. I'm going to find somebody we can raid over to real quick. I'm pretty happy with what we accomplished, honestly. I mean, like, I think we knocked out some serious stuff right here. We're about to have him on the planet. I am going to have an action scene. Obviously, they're about to be sacrificed, so he has to be buddy by book 2 with the Space Vikings. And so we're going to have a whole bunch of writing where, like, honestly, they're not going to be successfully sacrificed, right? And these people are worshipping a horrible abomination. So Sam and the Space Vikings, not to spoiler alert this, are going to kill the abomination, which is going to, of course, get him in tight with the Space Vikings, and which is honestly where book two's going to come in. Sam's already going to be Sam, and he's going to be with the Space Vikings in book two, which I'm super excited. I think that's going to be more actiony. This is a lot of character building book. Book two is going to be less character building, much more like character development and just kicking butt. I think we're doing smooth though. I want to thank you guys for just being epic and just being epic. Real quick, I'm going to find somebody we can raid. I'll find an Entropian person. Avalonus is doing it this morning. Are any of you guys doing this morning? Avalonus is a Russian speaker. And so I do rate him sometimes. I don't try to rate him every time, but is anybody preferencing? Let's just roll a dice, guys. My dice aren't on my table. This is what happens when you have a child. Okay, we'll pick a random number. Look away. Let's go 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's Encore's. Boom. That made it easy. We'll raid over to him. I do want to thank you guys for just being freaking epic. You guys have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you the start of next week. Of course, on Monday I'll be on Entropia. Wednesday we'll be writing, and Friday we'll be writing. Thursday Entropia. Peace and very best wishes.